Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Wireheads podcast. I am Diamond Dust. And I got you. And I'm Diamond Dust, and with me, as always, my co-host.
Oh, hi, I'm Emmerron. I walked in here one day, and now I can't leave.
Walked in here. I'm living in your walls, amigo.
We're stuck in here together then. Yeah, I'm the other guy who also runs this show, and I said this on my half of the episode. It's been a week. We've been busy this week. There's been a lot going on. There's a lot left to go on. But yeah, no, we are about halfway through covering Solo of Fortune 2045 right now.
Which it is important. You go click on the link below to go back to the first half to get any context about what we're talking about here in the second half. All right,
that
is essential.
I will say this, more than most of the things we talk about, you could do it somewhat non sequitur. There might be a couple things when we get into ACPAs that you'll be missing if you haven't watched my half of the episode. But if you do want to chill and listen through the end of this one, this week is probably one of the safer weeks to just do that and go to mine later. Just because we are going to be talking, we made a nice clean cut between two of the sections of the book. So Diamond, what freedom seeds do we have in this lovely edition?
Amazing ammunition. In other words, freedom seeds, or other ways to get rid of problems. We have a lot of vicious ammunition, which just as a clarification for anybody who has decided not to go back to the first half. Anything you take in Solo of Fortune 2045 automatically hardens your edge runner. It takes everything up to the mercenary level.
This is especially true here, yeah.
The way this ammunition is priced is not priced for the street, in my opinion. It is priced if you are, a mercenary working for a company. Because, and I know you and I had the same commentary of like, there should be street prices for this ammo as well.
Yeah.
So, where do I want? Let's start with burrowing ammunition. Which burrowing ammunition causes, I won't go into specific numbers, like the cost of something, or, what kind of ammo types are available, just because you should go get the article. It's only $13 for a whole lot of great DLCs plus this article. This one causes critical injuries, to not be able to be quick fixed.
So it's not that they can't be quick fixed. It does make them. It makes them harder to be quick fixed if they can be quick fixed, and it makes them unclearable by being quick fixed if normally they could be. So I will say for this one, we can talk a little more about that in specific, just because explaining how this works otherwise is a pain. Basically the wounds this thing leaves are grievous and awful and a medtech's worst nightmare. This is where the Geneva Conventions start to come in.
The what?
The Geneva checklist. I'm sorry.
Next up, explosive ammo.
This is one of my favorites.
I saw this show up and I'm like, oh, this could only right.
Yeah.
So explosive ammo is it can't be used to make an aim shot. It is that wily. And in fact, you take a penalty when you're shooting explosive ammo as well. I would not use this for auto fire. Just to clarify, do not auto fire with explosive ammo. It is specific. It is ideal for single shot.
But I could crit and do 55 to 60 damage this way.
Yeah, but the crit fish, is it worth it though? With only 2d6, because 5s are treated as 6s with explosive ammo.
Yep.
This doesn't set off tarot crit.
Look, if I would auto fire with armor piercing rounds in a Merc campaign, I can auto fire with this. These literally are just like the random guns that you get in 77, where you shoot at the enemy and then watch their limb get blown off.
Yeah.
This is basically that. It's very, very cool. This is my second favorite new ammo type. There's one I like better than this.
Yeah.
This is my second favorite new ammo type. It's very, very fun.
Yeah. This next one, though, personally, I'm a fan of because of what it requires. What it requires a mercenary, which, just to clarify, mercenary capital M, not, little street punk mercenaries. We're talking like actual, like, corporate heavy hitters. So high precision ammo. It has a skill requirement, or you must have a rank in solo in order to use this ammunition. And I imagine otherwise it's just just expensive basic ammo at that point.
Yeah, probably. It just very expensive ammo that does nothing for you. But yeah.
And what this does is it can give you bonuses to either a single shot or an aim shot with the high precision ammo.
Yep.
Ideal for some of the different assault rifles and sniper rifles that were mentioned earlier. But it does come in a few other varieties as well. But I feel like this is very much more for your backliners to have fun with.
I mean, yeah, this is for anyone that's like a weapon specialist, honestly. Like, if you've taken ranged weapons to the nth degree, or you're a solo, like, this is the sort of thing that's like close to a no-brainer. I won't say it's like perfect for every occasion. There's a type of gunman that would use a different type of ammunition over this, but for those people that really like single shot or like making aim shots, this is your new bread and butter. I would say, if you're buying expensive ammunition, either that or you're going to be contemplating between this, explosive, and armor piercing. I think like it's going to be like a three-way pick on which of these is best for you and your build.
If I'm correct, this next ammunition is one of your favorites.
This is my favorite. And they actually kind of nerfed this from the test. I just noticed.
It did.
Which is fine. Honestly, that's fine. That's fine. I can't even be that mad about it. So we've got high velocity ammunition, which is so good. So whenever I tell people who are coming from other TTRPGs, especially those that work on a D20 system of some kind, how big a deal a +1 or a +2 is in Cyberpunk, I really try to drive that home by illustrating, whereas your +2s in a D20 game would be the same as a +1 in Cyberpunk. So that the one or 2 points is a massive world of difference. High velocity ammunition, and I will leak this to the public right now. If you're using high velocity rounds, you cannot easily dodge these things. Your evasion tanks, as Ghost would put it, they have to take a -2 penalty to checks made to evade this round, which is for high level play. And if you have the gripe, I would say, at your table of your players always being able to dodge your bullets and stuff like that, this is your solve for that problem. Because even if they are base 16 monsters when it comes to the combat they're doing against your mooks. You just load them up with some of this high velocity ammo. It's not even that expensive. These things only cost 40 eddies for a pack of 10. If the person getting them in question has mercenary contacts, right? So like, as far as your like NPC budgets, this doesn't really eat into your budget all that hard. For boss level enemies or like merc level enemies that would be fighting your players, oh my god, so good. It's so good. And because this is the thing, at my table, I will say, till I'm blue in the face, evasion tanking is not a problem. My biggest problem is that there are so few tools that are frontliner tools that deal with that problem. More often than not, you are relying upon the element of surprise to deal with an evasion focused character. And this just throws that right out the window and ceases to care about that as a problem, because now you could just equip your frontliner who has high gun skills or auto fire skill with a magazine full of high velocity ammunition, and then just watch your evasion focused characters get shredded by those bullets. And so this does go a small length to restoring just a little bit of that that skill parity with other types of enemies that are not ambush attackers back into play. So yeah, love high velocity ammo. I think it's a really good novel way to solve the main problem of the game. In terms of like balance, right? What most people I think would complain about is like a balance issue. But yeah.
The next one, I'm wondering like how to price these for the street, because technically it does exist on the street
As a tech upgrade, yeah.
It does.
I would treat it like any other tech upgraded item. Cost them for 500. Like if
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, 500 for a pack of 10 would be what I would do it.
Technically, we already know that this stuff exists, but now we have like an actual like manufactured variant of this expansive ammo. Okay,
Yep.
You know, expansive ammo. Am I right? The only way it's good is if you make a foreign object critical injury happen.
That did happen Monday in Neon Inferno, though. I will say that did happen.
Now, Vanisher in Danger Gal Dossier has handgun ammo that's tech upgraded expansive ammo. And also, much like here, every time you roll a critical injury, you roll a second one. Second injury doesn't deal bonus damage. But that makes expansive ammo, for anyone using shotguns or rifles,
The crit fishing goes just crazy with these. Yeah.
And also, like, just that's gotta be rough, because like, yeah, you know, first one, maybe you got broken ribs, right? Second injury, your arm comes off. That is like how insane that can get. Yep. And then let's see, what do we got for the next one? Serrated or hollow points, which
serrated or hollow point, which they're just.
What do you got on this one? Because I didn't play with this stuff too much.
So this stuff, this is one of those items that I think got a buff for release, and it was well deserved. So if I recall correctly, this was fancy expansive ammunition back when we were testing, with the main benefit to it being that it costs less. They have changed it a little bit, so it retains the same kind of base idea of expansive round, not the enhanced ones we just talked about, but the base one, right? Where if you suffer the foreign object critical injury on this, you will re-roll, you'll take a second injury. You also take bonus damage from that second injury. But in addition to both of those things, this also stacks extra death save penalty on your target. So it is really, really good if you really, really want to hurt someone and make sure that they won't get back up. Especially if you got this with something like a rifle that you can fire at long ranges and do a ton of damage. Like, this is just insane. It's devious. Slugs, if you want to get close, you could use it with slugs too. But I'm just thinking of a sniper with hollow points. God, like, that is frightening. Yeah. That's terrifying. Especially if you're loading these into something like, I believe, weren't there some guns in the CEMK that you could shoot and they do extra damage? Or am I...
That's power weapons. They do
well,
plus
not the power
bonus.
weapons. I thought they were like specifically like the Grodd or something did extra damage, right?
I don't recall. But then again, I don't often play around with yellow cyberpunk.
Hold on, pause. I'm gonna check this. But basically, if you have a gun that does more damage, it's been, even if it's, you have to tech upgrade it.
There it is. Jesus has it. The Unity does an extra d6 damage when on aim shots.
With aim shots. So that, I mean, that could be useful for this. That's a little less what I was envisioning. I thought. Actually,
I think the Grodd does do 66 right out the gate.
I'm looking for it. The Grodd. No, it doesn't. Okay. No. I lied. I don't know why I thought that, but regardless, if you can tech upgrade much like Adam Smasher could to get his guns to do extra damage, if you do that with these things, the crit fishing goes insane. Like this, honestly, like explosive rounds, but these you don't need to worry about the penalty that explosives come with, or the hyper expanding, like any of those. If you can up the number of d6s you're throwing with a bullet-based weapon, you are vibing big time. But yeah, I dig them. I think they're very good. I think that there's a lot to be said about doing extra critical injuries. And again, when we talk about the budget for these things being as low as it is, you can put this on like a sniper character and have them do some heinous shit to your party. And then we have one more bullet, which this will make all you auto fire freaks really, really happy.
Tracer ammo. It just gives you a flat bonus to your auto fire skill check.
That's it. That's all it needs to do.
Yeah.
So all of you synth heads that want to do, I need an excellent quality smart link gun and I need a snore line of synth coke before I get into combat with my auto fire build. Now you have a thing you can throw in a magazine, provided that you're playing with mercenary options turned on. That just, you can miss one of those elements, or you could still use all three and this, and then you're automatically auto firing for a minimum of 2. Or no, if you're firing a DV-17 range band at that point, you're +4 at a base 14. So if you roll a 2, you're automatically clearing a auto fire 3. So if you roll at least a 2, you're clearing auto fire 3, which is crazy. That's insane value. So yeah, very, very powerful. Very, very good. Literally, I don't think there's a single one of these ammo types that is bad. I think all of them are very good. Yeah, it's really hard to look at any of these and say, yeah, I don't know about that one.
I can also see some of these making it to the street, but it's going to be at one hell of a markup.
Yeah, well, because a lot of this is tech upgrade. Like, you could say the hollow points are expanding ammunition that's been tech upgraded.
Yeah.
Same with the hyper expansive ammo. Anything else though gets a little wonky with that.
I would say no less than Fixer 7, and even that is just, you want a pack of 10? $1,000 please.
Yeah, other than maybe the serrated, the hollow point serrated arrow or the hyper expansive, I might be willing to let those go for 500 as like a tech upgrade. But
Tracer, I could see probably for 500.
I might see the argument.
Maybe 100.
I might, maybe. I think
those
those
still a pack of 10.
Those I'm more leaning toward 1,000 personally.
Okay.
But just because +1 to auto fire is such, it's an X2 skill. You're giving a +1 to an X2 skill that is multiplicative, which is really powerful. But again, this assumes that you're even getting these into street level play at all. So, yep.
Militech's got surplus, and we get we technically, because of Hope Reborn, had like what serious putty was. In other words, C9. We kind of had that in a sidebar for Hope Reborn. But now we officially have C9, and this is one of those few things that absolutely I could see actually being on the street, probably at a bit of a markup, but still, because of they're juiced up gunmark door crackers.
Yeah,
that are much more dangerous if you don't set them correctly.
Yeah. No, and I think go ahead. No. Yeah, finish your thought.
And I mean, also on top of that, like, because like it was even mentioned in Tales of Red Hope Reborn that like C9 charges, like where the gunmark door cracker does 6d6, C9 does 8d6.
Right.
And you need to be good at demolitions to be playing with serious putty, all right? This is for the faint of heart.
Which brings me to my next big thing. We've had a couple of kind of like one-off or two-off uses for demolitions as we come through the game, and its kind of development over the years. And there was always the question that stuck in my mind about like, why the hell is demolitions an X2 skill? Like it in the high level philosophy of it, that kind of makes sense, right? Because it's like you are measuring very specific amounts and applying them in very specific shapes or locations to get the efficacy you want out of them. So theoretically, it's a harder skill to learn on its face, but there was so little like quoted usage for these things that like we had a couple of demolitions based things that you could do in Black Chrome, and to date, other than when it's called for in like a campaign module, this has pretty much been what we've gotten. Now we have 3 different varietals of explosives that all use demolitions as a predication for their use. And that is so powerfully good. It's so cool to finally see that fully fleshed out, and to see like, why would you rate the skill of demolitions cost-wise as high as you have in making an X2 skill, and making that like a, like, if you want to go the track of being a demo tech, you need to do this in a very specific way. Now we know why. So yeah, this whole explosives section is very, very cool from that angle.
Now we also get the kill switch as well, which basically you get some C9 and a switchboard that whenever somebody that is not you or is not authorized to hook into a piece of anything that would recognize who you are, Netrunners, maybe that cyber deck that you don't want anyone getting their hands on, because that thing, if used against you, is going to kill you. Perhaps you don't want someone stealing your linear frame, or I guess your ACPA. By the way, did you know there's ACPAs in here? There's also, nomads. You don't want people driving off with your car. And instead of going to recover your car, just blow it up. It's that easy. You get the guy too in the process, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
yeah, this is NCPD bait cars to a whole new level.
Like even a weapon with a smart gun link. If someone else that should not have your gun plugs into your gun, the gun just blows up, just like a gun Martin Gage. Yeah. Without the damage, which kind of surprises me. But well, then again, C9 can probably be used, like such a tiny amount could probably be used to make it not lethal.
No, where do you get the idea that it doesn't do damage?
Well, I didn't see like a data.
That's because you're installing it as part of a C9 charge. So you do the C9 charges damage.
So the kill switch is just an attachment for C9. Okay.
Yeah, it's you add it to a charge and then make it so that because it can be installed as part of a C9 charge being planned by a user with authorized access on a vehicle with security upgrade, ACPA, external linear frame with an authorization handshake port, weapon with a smart gun link, or cyberdeck with DNA lock. And then if you do that and someone else tries to access that is not authorized, the thing explodes, doing the damage that it would normally have done.
It's just a rocket centered on that hole.
Yeah, so if you successfully planted C9, like a full-blown C9 charge, you are doing 8d6 damage to them and everyone within 2 meters of them in any direction. Or, 4 meters of them in any direction. Yeah.
The next one though, I was curious about, like, why, like, what, because I was looking at this one, like, why would you ever take the mini C9 charge, which it does 66 damage to any cover that you apply it to. Oh wait, C9 doesn't just do damage to cover.
No. No, it doesn't. It explodes.
Okay, I thought this was just. Oh.
No. This explodes. It full explodes. It does not care.
Oh my god.
For meat, metal, etc. It will just explode.
So, you could just stick this onto someone.
If you want a hostage situation with someone and want to enhanced interrogation technique them, you can do this and then watch them explode.
Oh, okay. Alright, so that's updated from, because the Hope Reborn variant was only like 2 cover. This changes it. Okay. Oh god. Alright. And then finally, for those of you guys who are Team Fortress 2 fans and always have thought about being everyone's favorite drunken Cyclops demo man, we now have, in fact, from the Scottish company itself, Highland Defense, the sticky bomb launcher, which you launch.
Bagpipes intensify.
You launch basically balls of serious putty at something, and it sticks to whatever you shoot. So if you're accurate enough, what I'm hearing is you could just face plant somebody with this.
Yeah, so you can't.
Can you do an aim shot to the head with a grenade launcher?
You typically cannot take aim shots with anything that fires explosives. So
okay,
no. But
You can still stick it to someone.
You could stick it to someone, and this is what the mini C9 is for being launched. Because the larger C9 is bricks that you're like manually planting
Right.
without anything else, whereas mini C9 is packaged more to be a launch type thing or a projectile type thing.
And like the
Yeah.
Oh god, that is horrifying.
So now you understand why I think C9 is really, really cool.
C9 is so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is why. So, we did mention something in the middle there, and this is kind of before we dive into some of the other surplus items. There was an item here that I do want to call attention to, which is an authorization handshake port. So an authorization handshake port is an item you can install on an ACPA or external linear frame that uses interface plugs as an operator. Basically, this is something you can add as an added security measure to make sure that only you or whomever is authorized to actually operate that thing gets to use one. I would almost see my way as well to maybe going the extra step beyond a DNA lock and adding one of these to a cyber deck as a tech upgrade as well. It could be a real fun thing to have, because it forces anyone wanting to bypass one to roll real high on that electronic security tech to disarm it. But yeah, that is the first of our surplus items.
Next up, and hopefully we do have weapons to surpass it. We have more Metal Gear, guys.
We do.
You thought why do we have so much Metal Gear? Like, why?
Well, so in Red Mist, which is also in this interface volume, we already, I believe, had light Metal Gear that got given to us in there. So that gets reprinted here. But now we also have
Metal Gear as well in the FBC.
Right, I'm talking about people who haven't thrown away all their humanity and what they have access to. So we now have two new variants in addition to Metal Gear Classic. We have Heavy Metal Gear and Hybrid Metal Gear. So the only SP band, so this is something funny now, right? The only SP band that we do not have a set armor for, or set armor type that flattens it as a thing. Once you get to SP11, you have light armor jack. Then at SP12, you have medium armor jack. Then at SP13, you have heavy armor jack. But then you skip 14 and get to flak at SP15. And then from SP15 going up until you get to SP19, there is an armor type, some variants of Metal Gear, for each step of that SP scaling. Which is wild to me. The only armor we don't have an SP for right now in that 11 plus region is SP14.
Actually, hold on a sec. No, Skid Row Trench is only 13, isn't it?
It's only 13, yeah. It's flak with SP13, so it's literally just there to be style points.
I mean, it does look cool.
It does look cool.
It's a bulletproof trench coat. Like
it's bulky as sin, but yes, it is. It is cool. So we've got a couple new variants of Metal Gear, with their own distinct armor penalties and things like that, which is very, very cool.
And surprisingly, the armor penalties are not as punishing as I thought it was going to be. To a degree, I thought it was going to be a little bit higher for heavy.
No, yeah, they're about right, I would say. Just because you don't want to make someone completely ineffectual at doing what they need to do. And I think -4 to shooting makes sense as like a pretty solid penalty. But I mean, you could just imagine that is your Juggernaut armor. That's the armor that you get into it and you're just like struggling to do much other than like stand there and shoot things.
The Division Chungas. Anyway,
Literally, that is the Chunga armor. Like, I'm not even kidding. So then, yeah.
And there's the hybrid, which is it strips off some pieces of Metal Gear, and puts it like right there between light and standard Metal Gear. But then we also got another gun in the mix because it's Militech surplus. The Militech Big Boomer. Which,
okay, Boomer.
I'll at least read the description here. A friend to those with immediate problems they must solve at close range. The Big Boomer is a remake of the 4th Corporate War era service weapon with a new short barrel. Its design was guided by a customer survey sent out to everyone who legally purchased a Militech Boomer Buster in 2044. A population not exactly representative of the weapon's larger consumer base. Which, the Militech Boomer Buster, it's an excellent quality, very heavy pistol, shows up in Toggle's Temple.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Which, now this one, it's what? Let's see. An excellent quality, very heavy pistol. Okay, all right. It's a snub nose. All right. Oh! Auto fire. Okay. Oh!
With a drum
all right,
mag.
I see why it costs as much. Oh my god. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
VHP that can auto fire with a drum mag.
Oh. All right. Wow.
It's so good. Well, and the funny thing is putting this all together actually, this is literally just adding together. This is literally just adding all the attachments to, yeah, like a regular VHP, basically.
But yeah, you just get one right off the factory line if you're lucky enough.
Yeah. So the last little bit of surplus that we have here before we start talking about the deep war crimes is the thermal decoy, which is really fun to play with your players. So have you ever encountered the guy who can see everything because they've got infrared vision and all of a sudden that ambush you had planned doesn't work? Well, I give you the tool to fix that problem. The thermal decoy is a set of inflatables that give off their own thermal IR signature. And so if you look at them from across the battlefield, there is a difficulty of perception check that you have to clear in order to tell that they are a decoy. And if you don't clear that, you just don't know that they're not a real person. And like some of the players in the playtest I ran, waste rounds dumping mags into them until you get sniped by the actual sniper that inflated these in the windows around them. So yeah, it's really funny to watch your players shoot at these things. It's really, really funny.
Also on top of that, there is like the perception check is rolled behind the screen as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's not. It is the GM's role to decide if you can tell if it's real or not. It's like, oh,
right. No, it's very good.
But you dump those 10 really expensive bullets into it, and hey, the target goes away.
But you don't see any blood spatter and stuff like that. So the moment you hit that, it's a decoy, and you're gonna feel bad. Yeah, that's what I'm here to deliver as a GM is you feeling bad for doing something stupid. Yeah.
Also, shower in a can apparently is used by mercenaries out in the field. So
sure, why not?
Stay sanitary. Don't smell like you haven't washed your ass out in the field. Now, finally, we're at one of my favorites.
It's War Crime O'Clock, ladies and gentlemen.
I recommend get the article and read the story. Oh, read the story that comes up with killing through chemistry. And I suppose to start off, medtechs, and I guess everyone else, but medtechs, we get a new tool, the multi-hypo, which allows you to hold, if I'm correct, 4 doses of 4 either pharmaceuticals or street drugs, like just drugs. So you could literally just pack your entire pack all the medication, or like all the different pharmaceuticals you need in one multi-hypo.
Yep.
And if I'm correct, like you get punched with it once and you get administered 4.
You can, yeah. So if you as the med tech,
but it has to be 4 separate ones
using a multi-hypo. Well, they don't all need to be different. You can load 2 reservoirs with the same drug. So if you are a med tech looking to have a lot of speed heal ready to go, you can just put 8 doses of speed heal across 2 barrels. And the one thing the multi-hypo won't do is it will not multi-inject the same drug twice. So it will, you can be a little picky about it. But this way, if you know that, hey, if the, solo gets badly hurt, I want to hit them with a dose of stim and speed heal. You can have 8 stims, 8 speed heals located in your multi-hypo, and then you are ready to literally just stim and speed heal everyone in your crew if it comes to that on multiple operations. So it's very, very cool for that. And you can go a step beyond that even with things like Black Lace and other things.
But reloading your air hypo is a free action. It is a free action, but you have to use a second action then to deploy a second pharmaceutical or drug.
Yeah.
Oh God. You hit someone with all the humanity loss drugs.
Yeah. So it does specify that like it is unwieldy. So if you're using it to an unconsenting conscious target, this will not work. So this does still leave room for your air hypo as a weapon to be useful, because an air hypo as a weapon is just a light melee weapon. This thing is not going to work otherwise. But if you knock the guy out first with like the next thing we'll talk about, which is arrow hypo ammunition, or the one after that, which is air burst ammunition, these are 2 new drug dispersal platforms. So I've done air hypo ammo before at my table.
I've done it via poison, like poison arrows to a degree.
Well, right. Well, because we've had biotoxin and poison arrows before. And so as a tech upgrade, I've allowed for darts to be made that administer drugs across a battlefield, right? I think that's a very cool idea. Mm-hmm. These are just available as arrows, but this is where you can, at range, administer something to a target. So this is where you get like tranq darts and stuff involved. Although I think we've had sleep arrows, this I believe technically is more effective because then you could do things like a what's the one that we've seen before with it's an actual pharmaceutical.
So we've got sedative, Veritas.
That's the one.
Sedative? Okay.
Sedative, yeah, that knocks him out. Because I believe the DV to resist that one is higher than a sleep arrow. So this will let you administer that across the battlefield.
Yeah. Which standard air hypo ammo says street drug. Yeah. Well, with enough imagination, anything is possible.
Right. You could also just create a street drug that lets you knock them out. So the airburst ammunition is just the explosive variant of this, where you literally are firing gas rockets or gas grenades into an area of effect, and doing the same thing. And lest you all feel like, but there's not enough street drugs that do bad things. There's maybe some blue glass. And I guess if you look at them kind of sideways, you might be able to interpret things like black lace to have a potential drawback, or like six gun to have a potential drawback, as long as you know that the like intended use of those things might not come in handy. So
Oh boy.
what would we do? So we've got several new drugs that are especially for warfare. Very, very few of these are buffs. Most of these are bad. So they are weapons.
Yeah.
So to run down the list of these without talking too deeply into their effects, we've got anti-cerebral, we've got deliriant, we've got mind fire, we've got mortalis, we've got rhyme, we've got terrifier, and we've got red lace and white lace. Red and white lace are the only two of these that you could interpret in any way to be beneficial. The remainder of those drugs I just mentioned are weapons of war, and they'll do anything from giving you a constant tick of damage for an entire minute to making you afraid of the people around you. Most of them will have you losing humanity one way or another.
One of them, you start like kind of getting slow and stuck, and
yeah, well, one of them starts talking about it like delivering low-grade seizures, which is, as someone who had epilepsy as a kid, I can tell you, the last place you want to do that shit is in the middle of the battlefield. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And then it looks like with red lace and white lace, they are variants of black lace that do have some nice. They have some nice benefits. I will give them that.
Red lace in particular, I can think of a couple people who like regularly play at my table who would love doses of red lace.
I do too. And looking at this stuff, this might not be terrible stuff for the med tech to keep in their bag, along with a few things of detox.
Yeah, like if you've got an airburst round with mortalis in it, that is terrifying. All of a sudden, you think you're dying. Everyone in that cloud thinks they're dying collectively. It's horrifying.
Yeah, just cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
One of them just, it hits your humanity right out the gate. There is no save. There is no save for the impacts of these things.
There is no escaping them. Yeah, they're really, really spooky.
I care to think that like a typical anti-smog rebreather mask, which is usually meant to keep like, the dust and smog of the city out of your nose, might not be able to stop this stuff.
I mean, it could, but that's where you just get some tech upgraded osmosis compound into the mix.
Oh yeah.
You do a blue did in season 2 of Neon Inferno, and you make a glass grenade, except it's mortalis with a osmosis effect, which is terrifying. So yeah, there's some very fun war crimes that one could commit with that stuff. Any other comments about the chemistry side of things?
I can't wait to play with this. I'll just make that known. I guess big thing is, what if everyone takes nasal filters? Then
you osmose
you're
it.
gonna have to you'll have to tech upgrade everything.
Then you osmose it. It's really simple.
Then again, if you're a mercenary and you don't take nasal filters or have means to filter out gases,
what are you doing? Yeah. That's also why we have air hypo arrows and stuff like that, though.
also some fun stuff that shows up here in the writing. They do have some like good material for new people to kind of really get a good grasp of what the mercenary life could be like. And I guess Emmerron. Would it be possible to like run a mercenary campaign like in Night City, where it's like you are, or would that be possible?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're doing as the stated goal. If you wanted to bang and clear an entire building in the hot zone, for example, though, like you could absolutely make a merc campaign about clearing the hot zone. Like that wouldn't even be hard to conceptualize. Like think about every booster ganger that calls the place home. All of them have to get ousted by the time the rebuilding can continue. So who do you think they hired to do all that?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So you go in, and every scav, every homeless person with enough dangerous weaponry on them, like suddenly your ability, and like say nothing of all the other like ingrained traps in that sort of a place, whether they were there before or were set there after the bomb fell. There's mercenary work to be done.
Yeah. I mean, you could
nearby
definitely see like
nearby Badlands ops too. You could easily like work out of the Militech,
black bag work.
Militech compound. Yeah, exactly. Like because we actually have scream sheets in the back of this thing, if you'd believe it. One of them is attacking a single building. So it's like you could do something like that in Night City very easy.
And then finally, there's also a hiring hall which offers some pretty awesome like prompts for the GM to kind of really get the brain juices flowing. Others, but also finally, I know James has said it, Rob has said it. I think Jay has also said it, that we were not looking at getting ACPAs ever.
Yeah. And
wow.
I remember asking them when we got this to playtest, let me just tell you how sternly they looked at every playtester who got this document for testing and said, you will not talk about this. If you breathe a single word of this to anyone in the community that is not under an NDA in this playtest pool, you are going to be in huge trouble. We are not fucking around. And so we said nothing. We couldn't even hint. Like we had to play completely clueless with these. But all of us in the playtest pool, the closer this thing got to release, the more we all start kind of vibrating with the, oh my God, I can't wait for people to see that ACPAs are real. They're actually here. And I do like what they've done with them, because they don't feel crazy in terms of like, they're very powerful. Do not get me wrong at all. These things will break the shit out of your combat if you throw one. Oh yeah. But they are done in such a way that the crunch and added track that you need to do to the game is very minimal, honestly. The most complex part of these, I think, is putting them together. Once you have one figured out, though, it's no more complex than any other vehicle in the game.
And also on top of that, like, you know, while there is some crunch when it comes to the ACPA showing up, it's not like we have to take a whole turn to determine, like, you know, like a whole like, you know, few minutes to determine what happens to the ACPA every time an incident comes up. So ACPAs, again, they normally have those handshake ports. So like the handshake port, so you know, you got to be an authorized user or you got to hack your way in there. But if I'm correct, there are, I think FBCs and netrunners get special perks for operating ACPAs.
So, let me double check here.
Or did
where the reading of that is.
Or netrunners get
because that
removed.
Well, it would make sense, right? I'm just reading real quick. This is something where penalties input thrown. So let's see.
Oh, there it is, Jesus. Thank you. They can endure some time in an ACPA without penalties. Okay.
Right. Oh, here it is. It's under maximum operation time. So ACPA control feeds are difficult on the pilot's senses, not to mention their brain. So this is kind of similar to the Basilisk that we get into in 2077. And Pan Am talks about it as a, like, you know, you need a second pilot to share the neural load, because otherwise it'll overwhelm you before too long. ACPAs are the same thing. So ACPA control feeds are difficult on the pilot's senses, not to mention their brain. A pilot who spends more than 4 hours piloting an ACPA on a given day suffers a -1 to all checks until they complete a day of rest. FBC pilots and non-FBC pilots with rank 4 or higher in moto or interface, so this applies to nomads and netrunners, are better attuned to the stress and do not suffer this penalty. All pilots, no matter their role ability or FBC status, who spend more than 8 hours piloting an ACPA on a given day suffer a -2 penalty to all checks until they complete a day rest. So basically, if you are a nomad, a netrunner, first and foremost, like if you're rank 4 of either of those, or you're an FBC, you can go up to 8 hours without penalty. Anyone else, you 4 hours before the penalty starts stacking. Which sounds like a lot, but if your operation that you're needing this ACPA for is a bit of a hike, that might be less time than it sounds like. Especially given that the fatigue only wears off after a day of rest if you get to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the other thing here, is that, you know, in addition to all of the other, like, they can't suffer aim shots, they can't suffer critical injuries the same way.
You're protected from EMPs and also environmental effects.
Yeah, so like normally if the ACPA suffers a crit, the pilot takes 5 damage to their health because the ACPA has its own HP pool. So unlike FBCs that build off of a character's stats, ACPAs can modify them a little bit, but they have their own health pool. So this is important because in an ACPA normally, you cannot bullet dodge. There are 4 qualifiers. If you meet any of these, you're allowed to dodge bullets in an ACPA. And that is that the ACPA has a move bonus of +3 or higher. The pilot has a reflex of 8 or higher with other bonuses and penalties. After bonuses or penalties, a reflex coprocessor, and the ACPA has a no reflex penalty, which is a lot of stipulations. So to repeat that again, the pilot has a reflex of 8 or higher after any bonuses or penalties, has a reflex coprocessor in addition to this, and the ACPA that they are piloting has no reflex penalty. The moment any of those 3 break down, you're not meeting that qualifier. The next would be that the pilot is a dex of 8 or higher after bonuses or penalties, and the ACPA has no reflex, dex, or move penalty. So you don't need a reflex and a reflex coprocessor. You could be just dexterous enough, but then the penalty that you can have suffered, it expands across all 3 of those stats, which is very difficult. And then the final one, this is probably the easiest by far to achieve, is that the pilot has a combat awareness rank of 6 or higher. So if you're a solo 6, or better, you can just dodge bullets in an ACPA. Anything else, and you're grappling with building it to allow it to dodge bullets. Speed type ACPAs are a real thing for that reason.
I will throw out there, yes, hit points and SP matters, but it's kind of epic, just standing there and just having the bullets just rattle off of you and like being the untouchable wall between your teammates and the enemy. Like, I don't know, there's something about that. It's just like, but why dodge?
Yeah.
Be the tank.
Yeah.
Also, techs cannot just simply jury rig an ACPA if an ACPA goes down. It takes time to repair and get an ACPA back up and running. And if I remember let me check. It uses weapons tech. So
right.
Again, specializing in this is important. Whenever an ACPA is repaired, all of its onboard weapons cyberware are repaired. The SP of its Metal Gear clamshell and HP are restored to its maximum.
Yeah.
Sick. Which they also have a table for like, talking about, how much time it's going to take to either repair from minor, major, or, being destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you start building these things, this is the really fun thing. Those of you who are fans of like Armored Core are probably going to dig the shit out of ACPAs. So you have 3 parts to every ACPA. You have the frame, the shell, and the tuning. So you have to pick one for each of these. So your frames are essentially linear frames, with one additional one added on the low end, which is the salvaged frame. So you have a salvage frame, sigma frame, beta frame, and omega frame. And these have their respective body stat represented, and an HP pool that then grants as a floor for the ACPA. And then depending on which of these frames you choose, you also might get a move bonus. Not all of them will get one, but they might give you a move bonus. Then the shell, which is your armor, which adds a layer of SP and can give you some bonus HP in exchange for a movement penalty. In some cases, you don't have to suffer a penalty at this step, but you're limited to kind of what you value more at this point. Do you care about mobility, or do you care about having a greater armor and hit pool? And then finally, we have tuning. And tuning has 4 categories that have an A option and a B option. And these are for acceleration, hydraulics, maneuverability, and weights. And each of these has a trade-off that you have to pick. And this is where we really get into the nitty-gritty about, are you okay stripping some of your HP out? Or are you okay taking a dex penalty, for example? Are you okay stripping away some of your armor, or would you rather sacrifice a little additional movement to make sure that armor stays as tight as it can? Are you okay, adding a little bit of extra HP, or do you want to be more mobile? So yeah, all of this comes into play, and then you choose up to 6 onboard weapons and onboard cyberware. You can choose up to 6 of each of those. And then there are obviously pre-made frames that are there for you to review as well, from different weapons manufacturers. ACPAs are very cool. I am a big fan of these things. I will be using them at some point in the future, probably as a boss, because it's just too cool not to.
And then I suppose just as a general overview, I know we are going a little long for time, of what ACPAs. Oh wait, right, I'm on the second half.
We are.
Of what ACPAs made it. So we have the Arasaka Neo Guardian and the Neo Standard. They make a return, which, by the way, it looks like it's all refurbished 2020 art from Firestorm.
Firestorm and I think Maximum Metal.
Yeah, more likely Maximum Metal, actually. So, yeah, so the Arasaka Neo Guardian and Neo Standard show up. Very much like, look at these. This is like, if there was a front, I look at these two, it's like, if there was like a grunt or a frontline or like, I don't know what I would call these guys, but like, I feel like these guys would be it. These are the little guys amongst the ACPAs, alongside I think the Sewer Rat from Blue Raven.
Well, I don't know about the Neo Standard, man. That's 37 hit points on a Neo Standard. That's a whole ass Edge Runner's worth of HP. That's not
Fair.
a little guy.
Yeah, that's right, because I think it's actually. It's on par with almost on par with the Shindioni.
Yeah.
All right, which Adam Smasher's ACPA is in here.
My personal favorite, I think, of all of the ones that we get here, is the Savoil Bombardier.
Where it's just rocket pods.
Hello, I have 51 HP, 18 SP, and I just have rockets for fucking days.
What else do we have? Metacorp with the Nyx. The Militech Commando returns. Oh god, the Savoil Bombardier
is so good.
I'm looking amongst these and like the I don't know about you, but if you put the Savoil Bombardier on the table, that's so many rockets.
Oh
my god. And it's like it's only a -1 reflex and dex as well. So it's disgusting. And then we have the Tsunami Arms Magus, which it carries the Deathwind railgun mentioned earlier.
I'm pretty sure the Magus is what I used in the playtest. So yeah, that thing is it definitely was, because it was Tsunami Arms that made it. So yeah, no, the Magus is terrifying, guys. Do not let the lower HP deceive you. This thing will fuck your party up. It is not funny.
This is very much a little guy right here. The Zetatech Grasshopper. You want to see it on the new on the little like Zonda like dirt bike. Oh my goodness. Personal grade Metal Gear and its larger cousin. Oh my. I mean. Oh god, it's the Grasshopper. It just carries a big boot. Oh, that's scary. Yeah. That is scary.
It's a patrol ACPA. It's so cheap even the local corps might afford a few of those.
And then there is Bortus. I saw Bortus, and it's just like, I like this a lot.
Yeah, Bortus is fun.
Which does come with an extended, it comes with a large rocket pod, 4 of those, but also just Tektronica Russia BMG 500 Silver Edition, which is a machine gun versus standard BMG 500, which is an assault rifle.
So to give you context here, Prepper Jack, because you asked this question, can you ride a bike while piloting an ACPA? It says specifically for the Zetatech Grasshopper, so I imagine this is probably because it's one of the lowest bodies of any of the ACPAs that comes stock in the article. They mention squads of Grasshopper pilots riding motorcycles aren't an unusual sight in urban conflict zones. So like, you could ride motorbikes, so as long as your bike was properly reinforced, I don't see why not. It is
only body 12.
Well, it's only body 12, exactly. So like, if you're messing with a Sigma frame ACPA, you're probably fine. But again, that's going to come down to, like, is your bike up to spec for it? Yours, because Prepper Jack plays in one of my Friday game. He has a bike that has enough upgrades that it might hold up to one of these. Because this is like, you strip out everything that gives this thing weight. And literally, this is the lightest sort of ACPA that you could get. Short of making one out of a salvaged frame. If you made a salvaged frame ACPA, you might be able to get a little even lighter than this. But good luck. It kind of becomes the thing at that point. Because your HP pool is going to be dog shit at that point.
I'd also like to throw out the Shindione was made because partially because Shaitan exists. That was Arasaka's answer to Shaitan. So I think that's great.
That really says a lot about how powerful Shaitan is. That really does.
What does the Dione come with? Let's see.
Stupid stuff. Lots of stupid stuff.
A Neo Rapid Assault 16, a Kendachi, two Kendachi Mono 3s, Midnight Arms Dawn Maker.
Because I remind you, Diamond, lest you forget the rule about two-handed melee weapons, as long as you have at least body, I think it's a body 11, you can wield two-handed melee weapons with one hand.
Yep.
So you can wield both those Mono 3s in a Shindione.
And then we have the Rat. Built in Night City by a weapon savant named Blue Raven. It's made to fit in tight spaces and in tight budgets. And it comes with 2 Scatter Ratters, which I've only heard great things about the Scatter Ratter.
Yeah. Well, and then after this section on ACPAs, we do have like a bunch of the other stuff that has been reprinted. So that way you will have access to those things a little closer at hand. And then we get 2 Scream sheets. We got one that takes you to Georgia and one that takes you to Tanzania. So with this, we actually get a little bit of an expansion to the world of Cyberpunk Red, which is very, very cool.
And I gotta say that's it.
And we've done it.
Just again, GMs, read through this before you even consider having this show up on the street. I would say a lot of this stuff should not show up until like maybe late Edge Runner campaign.
Yeah. Or
if it's just like the exec is like, I have something for you to get the job done. I want it back when you're done with it. It's kind of situation.
Yeah, like it said, one-off storylines or you've reached like true end game and you need to challenge your players. An ACPA can be a boss fight. Because it is effectively a built-in 2-stage boss fight. Because once you've taken down the ACPA, the pilot inside still has their health pool
and armor
and their armor. Yeah, unlike normal armor rules, an ACPA's armor does not ablate the pilot.
You could stuff the Militech Veteran, which has Reflex 8 and Combat Awareness 6, inside one of these ACPAs.
Yep, and they can dodge bullets. Just put them in a Giraffa Boris, and you're like off to the races. You've got a 60 HP, 19 SP ACPA, and once they kill it, they'll still have to deal with an 11 SP, just combat veteran.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, put airburst rockets in the fucking
Right. Yeah.
just put airburst rockets in the Salve Oil Bombardier. Easy enough.
Yeah. Terrifier for everyone. Mortalis for everyone. Very fun stuff.
You get existential crisis. You get existential crisis. You get existential crisis.
Heart attack, heart attack, heart attack. Yeah, no, that's pretty much the way that goes.
So, I don't have any questions on my end.
Neither do I. I don't feel like 15 minutes is enough to justify
Everyday people.
Or to cover properly everyday people. Yeah.
All right,
like,
we can save that for.
It's not thick.
Weeks.
I suppose to give a quick opinion about it before we dive into that fully on a future episode. I like it. I think that I was already kind of giving skill bases more or less akin to the ones that are presented in there. But yeah, everyday people, very useful little supplement. I think that this, again, it's just another good thing to have at hand. When you're, especially if you're improvising vendors and stuff, and you have fixers like I've had at my tables, where they look at you and say, GM, I would like to haggle for the items which I am purchasing from this one random vendor. And you, the GM, don't immediately have a stat block that they are comparing to. Well, now you have a fixer stat block in there, and slight mods that you can make to that stat block depending on how they are situated within the city, to allow you a little of a skill base for trading to compare against your fixer's haggle. It's very, very useful. Very, very cool stuff.
I like that it gives us just like what the average Joe looks like, because it really sets the scale. It does.
Yes.
Like, this is how strong you are compared to the average person.
Yep. There's very few of those stat blocks in there would provide a meaningful threat to even a rank 4 edge runner. Like, this really does, I think, do a great job, like you said, of driving home the point that, like, even rank 4, you've learned a couple things. You're better than your average Joe, because now we see what the average Joe looks like. But yeah, we'll talk about that more in depth in a future episode. Like I said, next week we have James Hutt on. So Twitch chat, for those of you who are here talking with us live, in the event that you have questions that you would like us to ask James Hutt, especially around fossilized violence, please feel free to submit those. Those of you listening to this on YouTube, the same obviously applies to you guys. Feel free to send those in either as a comment under the video if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify. You can email us at wireheadspod@googlegroups.com. Or I know at least within my server, I have a dedicated Q&A channel for Wireheads. If you would like to submit it there, that is another good spot to put it. And then we can ask him if we have the time and ability to get to your question during our interview with him next week. We would love to include some of that community question type stuff for the man, the myth, the legend, James Hutt. But in my opinion, these stat blocks would be perfect to represent professional services. Good if your crew is trying to hire someone for support work or gig or something. Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree. I think the fact that the Netrunner stat blocks in the ordinary people are rank 2, and we see the exec help stat block for a Netrunner be rank 2, I think that really does help drive that home as well. So I can agree with that. I think that's a good way to look at it. But yeah, we'll talk about it more in depth and kind of go over each stat block, because unlike Solo Fortune 2045, that is an open public release. So us talking about that more in depth is not something that's as taboo or potentially problematic. So we will address that. But yeah, anything more, I suppose, for this week, Diamond?
I think I'm good here.
Okay. Well then, chat, we're 10 minutes early, but I think that that should do it for us. So again,
as always, also on my side on the server, I'll get a channel opened up to ask questions because I'm very excited for Dinosaur Game.
Dinosaur Game, we've gotten the chance to actually play this at conventions a couple times now. It's always a fun time. It's so fun. Like, when I say I've play tested this, I have run this as a demo at conventions and then gotten the unique privilege to play with James Hutt as my GM several times. It is so much fucking fun as a game. I cannot wait for more people to finally experience the joy of Dinosaur Game in Fossilized Violence.
Game good.
Yeah,
game roll big dice.
Game roll big dice. Good. Big dice good, game good. But yeah, we'll be really excited to chat with him next week about that. So get your questions in. If you have other questions related to Cyberpunk or whatever, whether those are for James, for us, etc., always those same options exist for those as well. But Diamond, if you would like to sign us off,
I'm Diamond Dust,
and I'm Emmerron,
and thanks for coming as always. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.